How to create a truthful and resonant and authentic life based off of who you really are to your core. I want to talk about this in depth today, going in different directions with this message. I wrote down some notes and important comments for you to connect with yourself and to get more clarity about where you need to be going that honors who you are instead of showing up in obligation to life for other people in ways that don't feel resonant with you. So this goes into boundaries. Okay, so we're gonna go into different directions. Stay tuned for the sauce. If you don't know me already, my name is Grace Moralia. I specialize in trauma healing and subconscious reprogramming, helping you live your highest self and life through inner healing work. Please like and subscribe to my soul fam. Thank you for being here. I hope that you receive all the codes that you need from this video. Be present, receive, be supported. Please comment below what this brings up for you so that I can answer you guys, connect with you guys, also know how to show up better for you. And also, if you are interested in working with me and you resonate with my energy, there's 2 ways to work with me. I have a pre-recorded offer called the Self-Love Accelerator, teaching you how to establish boundaries, how to release draining relationships, how to come into your power and yourself, how to identify your needs, how to love yourself in practical, grounded ways that change your life on a daily basis. So teaching you how to create a self-care routine in a deeper way, connecting to your deeper parts, and most importantly, taking your power back from draining people. And for a limited time, you get the Self-Love Accelerator plus a masterclass called From People Pleaser to Self-Empowered. That is taking you out of people-pleasing patterns. Really, really fucking important, and coming into self-empowerment as well. So both of those together are very, very valuable, easy to digest for you to change your life. Second way is working with me privately. You can book a consultation call. You can also, if you just want a single session, you're free to book that too. Just write that somewhere in there that you're just looking for a session, and then depending on what the call goes, what your needs are, we'll choose either a 60-minute session or 90-minute session to go into your trauma healing, subconscious reprogramming. But you're also welcome to do the full program, which is stated in the form. Love that. Would love to connect with you, so feel free to book at any time. So I'll get into more of that later. I just don't want to be. I want to just get into the chunk of this. So I'll start out with this. This is my interesting drawing, which this is your core self. Okay. So the goal is that you're making decisions in your life based off of your core self, the most authentic, resonant version of you that you can possibly find inside of yourself, which if you don't have that connection to yourself, there's 2 things we need to work on. We need to work on self-love, which means better boundaries, which means standing in your power, which means making empowered decisions for yourself that have nothing to do with anybody else. So that's one part, is the self-love, so that you can know what your inner truth is. And then also doing the deeper healing work, the limiting belief work, the pattern work, the repatterning, the reparenting, the trauma healing, the inner child work, the past life work, all of the subconscious reprogramming. That is what will get you to your authentic self. So we want to be here. That's what everything that I'm teaching you does, is get you to your authentic self. Now, we want to create a life and make decisions based off of that. So I drew these 2 here, and I want to show you so this is a sun ray. This is a sun ray. Let's say you choose a relationship and you decide, is this relationship right for me based off my authentic self? When you're connected to yourself, you'll know, and you can choose the relationship. You can choose the job. You can choose everything else. Name it. We got the sun. So you're the core of the sun. Your life is the sun rays. This is how you create a happy life. We need to come back to the core. Purposeful life, coming back to the core. so that you can get rid of the distractions. It's like if you have a tree and you're the trunk of the tree and the branches are your life choices and your manifestations, if they are not really who you are, you're gonna get crappy branches, disease, infiltration. So we don't want those things. We want it to feel like, oh, I feel good about what I'm choosing and who I am. I don't want to choose fear. I want to choose myself. I want to choose what's right for me. I want to be able to let go of what I need to let go of. I want to just say this because I feel called to. There's a big difference between attachment and love. Big difference. Love, acting from love, is not attachment. When we have expectations of other people that they're going to stay or that we need to show up in a certain way in order for them to stay, that's not love. So we're able to heal our attachment wounds just briefly. If you want me to create a video specifically on attachment wounds and healing attachment wounds, comment below. I'm happy to go more in depth about it. I think there's a video on my page talking about that, but I can also go more in depth if that feels like it would support you. But okay, I am leaving that there. So this is about doing what is best for you. And so the question is, are you doing what's best for you? Are you acting in your life from a space that is best for you? Or are you acting from a place that is out of obligation in your life? You feel obligated to blank. You feel obligated to show up this way in your relationships. You feel obligated to show up for your work in this way. And, you know, for a long time, I really believed that obligation, you know, there was some senses of obligation in all relationships and all work. I'm starting to believe that even that is a belief. If you don't want to do something, you don't have to do it. You know, yeah, will you have repercussions? Sometimes. But you still have free will in that. So empower yourself into, even if you feel like you're obligated to show up in certain relationships in a certain way, know that you still have free will even in that. You are the leader of yourself. So you got to see what is distracting you and keeping you in these ways of seeing life that aren't in your full leadership. Where are you not taking full accountability? Where are you not moving from the deeper layers of your truth, right? So action steps. We need to figure out what is your inner truth. What connects you to your inner truth? And the action step of that is developing a deeper relationship with yourself, creating the space and time to get to know yourself, really being able to create this relationship where you're hearing what your needs are and then creating action plans every day where you're meeting those inner needs. That's what I teach you very, very in depth how to do in the Self-Love Accelerator. You need that relationship to self in order to have this conversation of creating a fulfilling and purposeful life. You can't have that fulfillment unless you're willing to do the deeper work, find your deeper truths. So I want you to explore on a daily basis. This is your action step for this video. Explore on a daily basis where you are acting out of obligation and where you are acting out of desire. So one of them energetically is a lot lighter. The other one is heavier. Obligation is heavier. It's definitely a way to cast a spell on yourself and keep you in something that doesn't feel right. So ask yourself that. Is how I'm showing up in my life out of obligation or desire? And what is the decision that is most authentic to me? So we want to explore when we're doing inner healing work, trauma healing, subconscious reprogramming, past healing in any forms so that you can become your highest self. We need to take the observational role. So you're observing whether something feels healthy or not, based on who you are and what you want in your life. And so when you have that core connection, when you clear the noise that clutters that clear connection, you are able to move from truth. And When you're acting out of obligation, who are you doing it for? And what are you getting in return? It's not fair for you, right? So I was talking with my client earlier today, and she said that choosing herself feels selfish. And I know that one, I know that voice, and it's important to see what pieces of resistance that you have inside of yourself that are telling you that acting from who you really are is selfish. And those are programs that we can rewire, and that's what I want you to focus on. And also, you're self-abandoning. When you are not being authentic with yourself, you are self-abandoning. It's not being selfish because in the ways that you're not being authentic with people around you is also selfish, because then they're not actually in a relationship with you. They're in a relationship with your patterns. When you are not acting from authenticity in your relationships, they are in a relationship with your pattern, not you. And I think that this is the thing that scares me about this world the most, is that we are not typically in relationship with that authentic person. We're in relationship with their patterns, their stories, the way they were raised, what they believe about themselves, things that they hide, their shields, their protection mechanisms. It's harder to be understood today by people around us. And so I want to ask, do you feel like you can be your most vulnerable self with the people that are quote unquote closest to you, or do you have a shield up with them? And it's just something to explore, not to shame, but to explore. Because if we want to create an authentic life, we need to be vulnerable with our lives. We need to be vulnerable with ourselves and be willing to create the changes, the inner changes, do the inner healing work, which is what I facilitate in my coaching programs. Look, you need the transformation. You need the tools. Like I say in my other videos, if you're serious about healing and really wanting to make a change in your life or your relationships, change. You attract better relationships. You attract more money. You attract a purposeful career. You feel really loving and peaceful in yourself, for yourself, in your life, beyond your past wounds or what you came into before, like what you grew up as. Then you need to do the deeper work. These videos are going to help you to a certain extent, but you need the tools and you need to integrate them, which is what I share with you in the coaching program. We're literally going into each of your wounds and traumas, holding space on the call for your core wounds to be released. And so I'm also teaching you how to do that on your own so that you can do the meditations, you can do the subconscious practices, you can do the self-love work, you can make the shifts that you need to come in alignment with your soul and your purpose and what you're meant to be doing, and that self-love that you really want to feel. That's for the action takers that actually want the change. So changing the inner story, changing how you're talking to yourself, changing what you're saying, what you're affirming. Are you affirming to yourself that you're worthy of, that freedom, that authentic connection, that life of love? Or are you affirming to yourself that you always need to show up out of obligation, that you aren't good enough, that things are always holding you back? Are you allowing the voices of other people to drown out what you know is right for you? Are you giving the key to your power away to the external world and saying, here, you do what you want with me? That's the inner work, and it's deep, and it's important to do, or else you're going to stay stuck in these patterns and you're not going to be able to manifest your way out of it. And you need to be willing to be in those deeper layers, because you can't keep going on with your life and expecting any change if you don't do the change within. So it's about empowering yourself into who you're meant to be and showing up for it so that you get the results that you want. So I said that you are the sun, okay? The choices you make are your sun rays. Choose your sun rays from the core of yourself. What actions return you to your authentic self? When you are moving from obligation, or you are heavy, or you don't know what to do in your daily life, ask yourself, what would return me to my authentic self right now? What would return me to self-love? What would get me closer to my truth right now? Is it saying no to that person? Is it saying yes to that person? Is it saying no to that job? Is it saying yes to building your own business? Is it saying yes to coaching with Grace Lee because she is dope? What is it? Because then taking those steps is what will fulfill you. Your soul is always calling you higher. It's always calling you home. But you have the choice to not listen to that. If you don't want to, you don't have to. If you allow yourself to stay in victim-y mindsets and stories that of whatever it is, it's a myriad of things. There's a whole fucking audience and what is it? Peanut gallery of limiting beliefs. It's poking at you every day. And you get to choose if you're going to invest in those or if you're going to listen to the voice of your soul that's saying, come with me, let's learn through love. Let's lean into love. Let's lean into truth by healing the old stories, by overcoming the past, by teaching yourself that you are worthy, by affirming, taking life-affirming actions and that are out of desire to be that, to do that, to learn that way, instead of choosing out of obligation. That is the call of this video, all right? Check out the 2 links below if you want to learn to love yourself. That's what the Self-Love Accelerator is for, and to stop people-pleasing and draining yourself and come into your personal power and, figure out what your inner needs are. And then please book a consultation to work with me privately if you'd like. All right, I'm sending you my love. I hope this was supportive. Let me know in the comments. I'll talk to you later.